The following presentation is brought to you by Marine Steering Incorporated, manufacturers of the new Invisible Touch Steering Control.
Attention all boats. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody have a nice day.
Welcome to the world of powerboating, one of America's most popular forms of recreation. This year, more than 50 million Americans will take to the waterways in a variety of outboard, stern drive, and inboard powered boats. And for the most part, the boats they'll be in are faster, have bigger engines, and more efficient hull designs than ever before. Unfortunately, improvements in the steering systems designed to control these boats have not kept pace with engine displacements and advanced hull designs. As you are about to see, yesterday's steering does not measure up when it comes to controlling today's boats. If you own a boat with standard cable steering, you've undoubtedly experienced torque feedback at the wheel. The clockwise rotation of the propeller and the bite it gets in the water causes the steering wheel to pull hard to the right. In many boats, the pull is so hard and so persistent that the operator must constantly fight the wheel. Tim Merton, marine engineer and son of former world powerboat champion Jim Merton, will show us how prop torque can affect operator control in a 20-foot bass boat with cable steering.
Okay, this is a demonstration to show the effects of throttle response throttle response that creates engine torque that's transmitted through the steering wheel. This is at 4,000 RPM, about 35 miles an hour. It's taking both hands to turn the boat back. Okay, I'm going to put the boat in a right-hand turn and try and take it out under full power. We need Jack Neal to do this. I don't have enough strength.
Okay, we're starting from a full right turn. I'm going to hit the throttle. I'm going to see how much torque we've got. Ready?
Now, if a guy who looks like that has a hard time with cable steering, what are our chances of maintaining control in a similar situation? Some time ago, Teleflex introduced a steering system called C-Star. With C-Star, the driver builds pressure in a manual pump at the helm as he turns the steering wheel. This system is an improvement over cable, but as you are about to see, C-Star still leaves a lot to be desired.
Now we're going to demonstrate the effects of torque on Teleflex's C-Pro system.
Notice how unbalanced the steering is, turning easily to the right, but hard to the left.
Now we're going to put the boat in a hard right-hand turn and hit the throttle wide open. And try and pull it out.
Now that you've seen some of the shortcomings of current steering, it's time to introduce you to a brand new system that eliminates the problems associated with previous designs by delivering a level of control that goes well beyond anything you've experienced before. The name of this product is Invisible Touch Steering Control, and it promises to obsolete every other steering system on the water today. Yes, every outboard, stern drive, and inboard powered boat will perform better with the Invisible Touch Steering Control. Since we stuck Tim with the task of demonstrating the torque in ordinary steering systems, he deserves the first crack at our Invisible Touch equipped bass boat.
Now I'll demonstrate the effects of steering torque on a boat equipped with Invisible Touch steering. Now I'll demonstrate putting the boat into a hard right-hand turn, hitting the throttle wide open, and then pulling out of the turn.
Okay, you'll probably never try this with your boat, but we took the wheel off and replaced it with a 4-inch hub. Watch Tim as he duplicates his run using only the hub to steer.
We're going to demonstrate Invisible Touch steering control system without a steering wheel. We'll steer just with the hub. The boat into a hard right-hand turn, hit the throttle wide open, and steer out of it.
Okay, just to prove that we have no gender bias, our production assistant, Kay, will put an Invisible Touch-equipped boat through the same test that Tim did. There is no wrestling with the wheel, no hint of torque feedback, and there are no excess wheel turns required. With Invisible Touch, steering is precise, predictable, and immediate. Meet Charlie Hames, 2-time World Offshore Powerboat Racing Champion. Charlie knows about speed, and he knows how important boat control is. Watch as Charlie demonstrates how easily the wheel turns. Notice the left-hand turn with one finger. Remember, Charlie is an experienced race driver, so don't try this with your boat, especially if you don't have Invisible Touch steering. Now that you've seen Charlie demonstrate the superiority of Invisible Touch in a bass boat on relatively calm water, let's head offshore to see how the system performs in a 33-foot sportfish with twin 225s, just 36 hours after Hurricane Allison passed through the area. Notice how this 10,000-pound boat steers with the same ease as the bass boat. That's what we mean when we say Invisible Touch is totally predictable. There is never any torque feedback and absolutely no play or sloppiness in the system.
As you've just seen in the video, we just got back from a bumpy boat ride in this 33-foot boat. What we did is show you how much control you have with this new Invisible Touch steering system. We showed you how easy the boat steered with one hand, two hands, even your fingertip. Showed you how positive the control was, how there was no slop in the steering wheel, just how easy the boat steered in total control. What I'm also going to show you in a second is going to blow your mind. We're going to take off this 15-inch destroyer wheel and replace it with a 3-inch faucet handle that comes out of any ordinary house. And we're going to replace it on the steering system, steer the boat, and show you how easy it is to steer.
The standard destroyer-type wheel is off, and we're putting the faucet handle from a bathroom sink in its place.
In our next demonstration, this is something you're probably not going to want to do in your 33-foot boat. we're going to take you through some pretty extreme turns, some lefts, some rights, some complete circles, and maybe even some eights here, just to show you how easy it is for you to control your boat with invisible touch steering.
When Tim got wind of the faucet handle story, he wanted in on the action. Here he gets some quality camera time with a run across the bay. Keep your eye on the horizon and notice how quickly the boat responds to every turn of the wheel, the faucet handle. One of the big reasons Charlie had no problem steering with the handle from a bathroom faucet is that invisible touch steering boasts just 3 turns lock to lock, while Sea Star requires up to 7 turns. Watch as Tim demonstrates.
This demonstration shows the number of steering wheel turns a Teleflex Sea Star system requires to turn full right to full left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 turns, full right to full left. Now we'll show how much more responsive the new invisible touch steering control system is. 1, 2, 3. 3 turns, full right to full left.
The responsiveness of invisible touch steering with just 3 wheel turns lock to lock really proves itself when you want to turn suddenly. Up till now, you've seen invisible touch on outboard-powered boats, yet it is the ideal system for stern drives as well. Before invisible touch was installed on this I.O., the driver had to keep a gorilla grip on the wheel. Notice how the boat turns in either direction with 1 finger. There are some added benefits to inboard-outboard installations as well, including increased horsepower, improved fuel economy, and a higher top end, all in addition to the unmatched control that invisible touch steering affords. Now remember, with the exception of Kay, we have used experienced boat operators for these high-speed maneuvers and caution anyone against trying to duplicate these runs. This demonstration is designed only to show how much more control invisible touch offers and how much more responsive it is when compared to cable or helm-generated hydraulic systems. Let's take a look at the components that make invisible touch steering so superior. First, there's the steering module. This component controls the flow of hydraulic fluid, which in turn causes the engine to pivot and the boat to turn right or left. The instant you turn the wheel, the engine responds. The second component is the power module. This is the part that keeps the system pressurized with up to 1,000 pounds per square inch of force. The preferred mounting position is under the console, but it can be mounted remotely almost anywhere in the boat. Next, there is the cylinder module, which connects to the engine or engines. This part is ultimately responsible for turning the engine. Finally, there are the connector modules or hoses. These Husky aramid reinforced modules have a rated brake strength of 10,000 pounds per square inch. That's 10 times stronger than the hoses on other hydraulic systems. Oh yes, let's not forget the finishing touch, an invisible touch logo insert for the middle of your steering wheel. Now that you've seen the system, what do you think? We knew you'd be impressed with invisible touch. After all, everyone who has driven a boat with invisible touch steering has come away singing its praises. And if the system sounds good after viewing this tape, wait till you get behind the wheel of a boat with invisible touch installed and experience these benefits for yourself. No engine torque feedback at the wheel. If your hands leave the wheel, the boat will still tend to track straight. so effortless you can steer with one finger. Instant response. The engine pivots the instant you turn the wheel. There is no play or lost motion. Just 3 turns lock to lock, hard right to hard left. Compare that with up to 7 turns on other steering systems. Stern drive installations have shown a significant increase in horsepower and improved fuel economy. Easy to install. Compatible with almost every outboard, stern drive, or inboard powered boat over 50 horsepower. Professionally installed in about 2 hours. Designed and built in the USA from the highest quality materials under 1 or more US patents. Only Invisible Touch steering assures the ease of operation and the unmatched level of control that you have seen demonstrated in this video. Nothing else compares. It is the most responsive steering system on the water today, and installing Invisible Touch is the most responsible decision a boater can make to assure a pleasurable boating experience for himself, his family, and the rest of his crew.